You are listening to the So Now What podcast with Lana Manikowski, episode number 192. So now what? These three words raced through my mind time and time again during my journey through fertility treatments. I tried desperately to have a child, but never was able. I yearned for a community to join that could understand my struggles. I couldn't find one, so I created one with the So Now What podcast. I love that you found us. Hello, gorgeous. How are you this week? I know the holidays are officially here. Hard to believe. Thanksgiving this week, which means that Christmas is less than a month away, actually, a month from today, if you're listening on the day that this episode is being aired. So, if you're already getting that tiny knot in your stomach when you are seeing the Christmas decorations and hearing people making holiday plans, you're in the right place this week. Maybe that idea of sitting through family gatherings is making your chest tighten, and maybe you're worried about the questions people are going to ask or wondering how you are supposed to feel joy when the dream of having a child is still so tender for you. I see you and I love you. And maybe you're actually looking forward to parts of the season, and that could feel really confusing too. So, whatever you're feeling as the holidays inch closer, it all makes sense. And there is nothing about it that means you're doing anything wrong. That is something we don't hear enough. So, whether you are done with fertility treatments and still figuring out who you are without that child that you dreamed of, or you're still maybe in the thick of IVF or an IUI and bracing for the mental load of Thanksgiving and the upcoming December, or maybe you're childless by circumstance and just trying to navigate what it means to continue to celebrate without the partner you dreamed of, without the child that you dreamed of, because the world around you seems to revolve around all of that. So today, I want to help you understand why the holidays, Thanksgiving included, stirs up so much emotion for women who are childless. When you understand the why, you then are able to stop blaming yourself and start feeling a lot more steady in your own skin. And that is what I am here for. That is what I help my clients do when they work with me in the Thrive After Infertility Mastermind. And it's what I think a lot of us don't hear from anyone around us. So, also at the end of the episode, I'm going to tell you about a free live class that is happening on Tuesday, December the 16th at 11:30 a.m. Central. It is called How to Deal with Your Family, Create Traditions, and Manage Celebrations Without Kids. So, in this class, I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth later, but it's going to help you feel prepared, hopefully help you feel grounded, and hopefully in control of the rooms you walk in during the holiday season. So, let's talk about what is really happening inside your head, inside your body right now, if the holidays are feeling super heavy. Something I hear consistently from women in my community is that the holidays feel like there is a spotlight on the life you thought you would be living. If you feel that, you are not imagining it. Your brain is doing something that honestly is very predictable. For years, you built a vision of what the holidays would look like once you became a mom. You knew what stocking wood you would hang. You knew what Christmas morning would look like. You imagined the photo you would take by the tree. You pictured waking up to tiny footsteps or sharing foods and traditions that you grew up loving. These weren't fantasies. They are neural pathways, real expectations that your brain wove into your identity and into your future. So if you don't know what a neural pathway is, I write about it in my book, So Now What? And it is something that happens when, for example, the holidays come and the child you imagined isn't part of the picture. Your brain sounds an alarm, not because you're failing or feeling stuck, but because you are bumping into a dream that felt really real to you, something that your brain associated life would be like once you got to X age or met X person or had X child. So this neural pathway became very woven deep, or like I talk about it in the book, it is basically like this river that continues to flow, and these paths are woven into your brain. That is just your automatic thinking. And nothing about this reaction means you're doing something wrong. It means that you are human, that you loved this dream that felt super real, but never got to unfold. And your brain remembers that. That is the pathway that is created for you. So there's another piece that makes this season even harder. The brain, your brain, loves to be predictable. It loves to feel safest and does feel safest when it knows what to expect. And the holidays are anything but predictable. So think about that. Your schedule changes, travel gets added, family dynamics get amplified, baby announcements come up, social expectations increase. People ask questions that you wish they wouldn't. Everyone assumes you have endless free time or flexibility to do what they want you to do during the holidays because you don't have kids. And every tradition that is going on around you seems to be built for families who have children. Your nervous system responds to unpredictability the same way it responds to danger, not with rational thoughts, but with a huge physical reaction. And that's maybe why you feel the knot in your stomach, why you feel irritable, why you feel overwhelmed, why you don't want to participate, why you feel like you are left out, and why you show up somewhere and feel like there is no place that you belong and you automatically want to go home. And maybe you avoid everything altogether because the emotional labor of this feels too heavy for you to carry. That is not you being dramatic. That is a natural reaction your body is trying to do or respond with to protect you. And when your body is trying to protect you, you might notice your emotions swing more quickly than usual. You might feel happy one minute and then get hit with sadness the next, or you might feel totally fine for days and then suddenly, bam, get pulled under by something small. That does not mean that you are regressing. It doesn't mean that you haven't healed enough or you aren't over this. It means that you are navigating a season that is filled with reminders of a dream of motherhood that you carried for a long time. For some of you, it's not emotional swings at all. It's numbness. Nothing feels especially joyful or especially painful. Everything might just feel flat. And because you're someone who is a deep thinker, you might worry that numbness means something is wrong with you. It doesn't. Sometimes numbness is your nervous system's way of giving you distance when the emotional load feels too heavy. It is not a failure. It is not a sign that you are not healing. It is simply your brain saying, you're not quite ready to feel all of this at once. So numbness is not a problem. It is a pause. Something I hear from women again and again is how isolating holiday gatherings can feel. You might find yourself surrounded by people who love you, and you still feel like the odd one out. You might feel out of place in traditions that for you were built around kids, and you don't have any. You might not know where you fit in anymore. You might feel sidelined, maybe like a guest in this life that you were supposed to be fully part of. And you might feel like you're watching everyone else move forward while you are just here standing still. And I want to tell you something really important. You are not the only woman who feels disconnected in rooms filled with families and little children. You're not the only woman who looks fine in photos but feels invisible inside. You're not the only one who dreads the pressure of acting joyful even when your heart is carrying something super tender. This is a very human reaction to a season built around the idea of what a family looks like in a traditional sense. But here is where we are able to get to shift things. And I want you to really listen to this part because this part is crucial. Just because you don't have children does not mean you have to shrink, does not mean you have to step back or sit out of holiday traditions. Of course, unless you want to. You are not an extra in someone else's story. You are not a supporting character in the lives of your siblings, of your cousins, of your coworkers. You are not here to simply fill in quiet spaces while everyone else celebrates. You get to choose if you want to participate. You get to create the meaning that you want to have. You get to show up in ways that feel true to you. You get to build traditions that reflect the life that you are living now. You get to do all that. You might not be ready to do all that, and that is okay, but you have the ability to get there if you want to. And I see way too many women who are childless after infertility assume that the holidays belong to everyone but them. But you belong here. This can be your season too, and you deserve to feel grounded. You deserve to feel confident in the way that you show up. And this is exactly why I am offering that free class before the holidays hit full speed ahead. The December 16th class is for you if what we've talked about today feels familiar and you want real tools and support this season. I'm going to invite you to this class. It's happening at 11 a.m. Central Time, which allows you, if you're on a lunch break, if you work from home, if you are somewhere else in the country on a different time zone, specifically in Europe, it's in the evening time for you. This class is called How to Deal with Your Family, Create Traditions, and Manage Celebrations Without Kids. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And I designed this class specifically for women who are childless after infertility, childless by circumstance, or maybe still navigating the fertility pathway and you do not have your baby yet. So in this class, we are going to learn how to show up around a family without feeling like you are an extra, what to say when somebody asks questions that you weren't ready for, how to rethink old traditions that might not fit your life anymore, how to create new traditions that feel authentic and meaningful, and how to participate in the holiday season, even if you don't have kids, because you deserve to feel prepared, grounded, and in control instead of bracing your way through December. And I would love to help you do that. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you to register for this class. You've got to be registered in order to attend, and it is free of charge. And I hope that you have a beautiful week. I love you. Happy Thanksgiving. Remember that it is never too late to discover your meaning. I'll talk to you next week. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to tell you about an awesome resource I created. If you have ever found yourself in conversations with people, or maybe people offering you suggestions about what you should do to become a mom, it's called the Top 27 Things People Say When You're Childless and How to Respond. You can get your copy free at lanamanikowski.com/things people say.